Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to another video. We keep up with the series of Gentoo Linux. In this video I'm gonna show you how you can upgrade the kernel. So you need to run these two commands, this one and this one. Probably if you run the second one after the first one, don't expect yourself to find a different result, since they do almost the same thing. But you have nothing to lose to run both of them, and here I have run the first command, which is this one, and then I have run this second command, and you can see that I got no output, but it's fine. Afterwards you can run this command, which will show you the kernels that you have. For me, this kernel is the newest kernel, and the oldest one, it's deleted. The installation is deleted, but the kernel, I'm using the older one. You can see it here. Let me take this window over here. So you can see here that this is the newest available kernel, and this is the one that I'm using already over here. So we select it by this command. You select kernel, set, and because it's number one, we just choose one. If we have done this, these ones, we don't need them. And the wiki, keep your Gentoo wiki always in front of you whenever you want to do anything. It contains almost everything you need. So once you have done this one, these ones we skip them. Afterwards we move to the folder of the kernel, which is cd/user/src/linux, and then this is the next command. You have all these ones, whatever you choose. The other ones you won't need it. You won't need them. The other ones you won't need them. So in my case, I'm just gonna take this one. This one's config by choosing this command. You don't necessarily need to have exactly the same versions. You need to know that it's dependent on your version. So I'm gonna take 19, 6.1, 19, sorry, then .config, and then USR, SRC, Linux. It's exactly the same here, okay? This command, I'm gonna use this command. Either of them works, but this one you need to make sure that you have enabled this option in your kernel. So we take this one over here, and then press enter. And then we update our .config file. How should we do that? We run this command. We don't need to run this one because we are already in that folder, in that path. So we take this one, we use it, make old config. We wait some time to do, it's gonna do its job. Alright, you just keep pressing enter. That's it. We have nothing much to change. It's just one option. And then you have the option to you can run this one, make all deconfig, all dev config, not all deconfig, all dev config, to choose the best configurations for the newest options that you get from the new kernel. That's optional. Okay, and then you can do observing the differences, but I'm not gonna do it. And then you can run make menu config. This one also is optional, and this is the command that you run in two cases. The first one is choosing the options for your Gentoo kernel. After you install any non-binary kernel like these ones, you must move to /user or /usr/src/linux, and then you can choose all the options that you would like to choose, including the drivers, the file systems, the everything. Okay, you must do such thing. And the second one, is whenever you would like to build your own kernel on any Linux distribution, after you untar or decompress your kernel, which you get from here, for example, like this. After you take your kernel and then you untar it, you decompress it, you move to the folder where you have decompressed it, and then you run this command, make menu config, or you can run also make xconfig, whichever you like. For me, I have nothing to change, so I'll exit. Afterwards, I'll tell you what commands we're gonna run. This one for the modules. You should run it in case you have extra modules, if I'm not mistaken. The modules. I'm sorry, not the extra modules, but the modules that you have chosen on your system. You must run that command for them. Okay? And then this command, I'm gonna skip it for now, I'm not gonna run it. I'll just jump to the next command. It's not here mentioned. So the next command is the command that will do the compiling, because your kernel is still not compiling. So we run make module. I have it here, Control R, make, yep. Alright, so you run make dash J and the number of the threads that you would like to use, and then this one, which stands for and, it will make the next command run with it at the same time, simultaneously almost, and then make dash J and then the number of the threads that you would like to use, and modules install, and then and make install. This will compile your kernel for you. You press enter. It's gonna take some time, so we must, in this case, we have to pause the video. Once it's done, I will come back to you. Alright guys, our kernel now is compiled. Make sure you don't see any error. Otherwise, you may need to run make dist clean and back up your config file, and then you copy your backup file, you make it the main.config file, and then you compile your kernel again. Make sure also that your boot partition is mounted. In case it's not mounted and you wanted to compile your kernel, this command will fail. Make install will copy your kernel to your boot partition. So make sure your boot partition is compiled. The next thing to do is to make the init ram fs, and it's optional probably. I'm not sure, I may be mistaken, but next step is, for me, is to make the init ram fs. In this step I'm gonna use dracat, and there are so many options that you can use. For me, I'm gonna use dracat. Alright, so we said that the old version was 6.1.19, the new version is 6.1.31. Make sure also that your boot partition is mounted, because this one is gonna put the init ramfs on your boot partition. So make sure it's mounted. There is also the option of using gen kernel. I'll give you the method. Alright, so when you want to use gen kernel to generate your init ramfs, the wiki says that this command should be executed. I believe that this command can be new, because I used to execute another command before dracat has become the common way to make the common used way to make an init ramfs. So in my case, I'm gonna generate my init ramfs using this command. So it's supposed to be dracat dash kver equal so we run this command to make our init ramfs. It's not gonna last too long. Make sure always that your boot partition is mounted. I guess the recommended method to make an init ramfs now on Gentoo, if I'm not mistaken, is Dracat. It's a Red Hat tool. It was ported to Gentoo, and it makes the job easier. Even the program itself is so much smaller than Gentkernel. That's why I stopped using Gentkernel to use Dracat. And now this command, you can run it at the beginning, which is this one. You can run it at the beginning, or you can run it now. So I'm gonna run it now. Alright, so it's gonna rebuild all your modules, like video modules, VirtualBox modules. In my case, I use VirtualBox, so it's gonna rebuild all the modules that are from the other programs, aside from the default or the chosen modules from your kernel, the extra modules from the other programs. I told you NVIDIA. I don't know if AMD, whenever you install there, I guess AMD is included, of course. Pardon me, because I never tried to work with AMD. So this one will rebuild all your modules. So you can see here, we press Y, I press Y over here, and it's gonna run a little, it's gonna take some time to run. Then the next command is gonna be the grab command to make your new kernel detected there. So it's gonna be like this. So the command is grab-mkconfig -o/boot/grab/grab.cfg. Make sure always your boot partition is mounted in case you decided not to mount it automatically. And then we run our command like this. It detects all your kernel. And that's it. We are done. So now we should restart our system to check if the configuration is successful or not. So our modules are compiled and ready. I'm gonna pause the video. Alright, I paused the video to prepare my computer to reboot, just to prove to you that this method works. So now we check the running version of the kernel. It's 6.1.19. By the way, for the bootloader update, which was by running grab -mk stuff like that. If you run, for example, Linux loader, you can run Lilo. You can go to Gentoo wiki to get more details, but the most common way is grab mkconfig. So I'm gonna reboot and pause the video and come back to you to prove to you that it works. Alright, we continue, and I have rebooted, and this is to prove that the new kernel is installed correctly, upgraded. Here it is. It was 6.1.19, now it's 6.1.31. I guess that's it. Thank you for watching, and see you in another video.